We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on the Miami Dolphins defense versus the Vikings. Overall, a pretty strong day for the defense. They gave up a few big plays in the run game at the end, and then a few big pass plays. But other than that, they were solid. They forced 10 punts, which is really good. They need Tua back to play some more complementary football because they're just out in the field too much. They were not in the field too much in this game specifically, and that's why they were able to play better. But when the offense is able to click at a higher level, this team could be really dangerous, so let's get right into this one. Dolphins come out of the game 3 and out, and then the next drive, they just do a really good job stopping the run early on downs, weren't letting any big runs happen until that big Dalvin Cook went at the end of the game. But this is how they were getting their stops. 1st and 10, really good job by Brandon Jones, recognizing the receiver, motioning down inside this tackle, so he goes up to blitz, takes the receiver into the back of the running back, ends up getting them tripped up over each other. Doesn't get called for tripping because it wasn't purposeful, definitely accidental here, but just high-level instincts, understands that he's taking on the receiver here, so he just blows this up, comes in with momentum, uses some play strength, and then takes Thielen into Cook, stops this run for about a yard, and this is when they were getting in advantageous situations, and they were just sending a lot of pressure at Kirk Cousins. Now it's 3rd and 9, Dolphins going into cover 2 man, which they haven't done a lot this season. They usually either go cover 0 or cover 1, but they decided to go 2 man, thinking they can beat the Vikings O-line with less rushers than usual to create pressure. And with little DBs, the only really not like they had a lot of injuries. No Cater Kohu, Needham got hurt in this game. Then Igbinoghene had to come out there. They wanted to give X some help coming off of injury, covering Justin Jefferson. But just really good job in the secondary. Everything's covered up here. Really good job by Howard on the outside versus Jefferson on this one. Playing low inside leverage, knowing he has help over the top. And then everyone else is locked up, crossing here. Needham in the slot. Everything taken away. Cousins doesn't have a chance. They almost get the safety here. And then we can watch the stunt on the inside from Flowers, from Phillips. And Flowers is actually the crashing guy here. He's setting this up, and then Phillips is supposed to loop around. But he creates so much penetration, takes the 2 blockers almost out of it, and then is able to get to Cousins, almost gets to safety. So huge plays early in this game. They did enough to win this game. They were creating so much pressure. The Vikings offense didn't really move the ball at all until like the last drive in the second quarter, or the second to last drive, I guess, technically, because they got the ball back in the Dolphins territory. But yeah, really good work from the defense. The offense just couldn't get any drives finished early in the game, and that was like the biggest issue with them not winning this one. Dolphins go back to cover 1. They love to run man-to-man coverage. They motion in, so Howard ends up getting on Thielen here, and this is actually just really good coverage. Great play at the catch point. Howard was up and down in this game. I know, like, he gave up a touchdown to Thielen. We'll get to that one later. That one, they should have got some more pressure on him. He was the 4th read. They needed to get to Cousins at that point. And then he gave up a few big plays to Jefferson, but they were off pick plays. He wasn't actually just getting beat. They were him getting taken out of the play, more of a setup, them not being in the correct position pre-snap, should not be aligned evenly. But this is really good job getting hands on Thielen. He does a really good job just feeling hip sync when he's over the top of routes, or even playing under and trailing. He feels the hip sync when he has hands on and able to close, and is obviously very dominant at the catch point, one of the best DBs in the league at playing through the hands. And now they get to 3rd down. Really good play from Brandon Jones and some good coverage on Keon Crossan. 3rd and 7. They get like bunched up here, to beat man-to-man coverage. And Jones almost comes over like robbing this. He knows he can help take away something over the middle. Just based on what he saw pre-snap, them bunched, they'll usually try to throw something in this area of the field after getting some pick play, some pick action here. He sees this, reads the eyes, and then gets a nice hit at the catch point. And pretty good coverage from Crossan too to make this a tight window throw. He plays with some patience. Good job. Knows where his help is. Maintains the outside leverage. And they converge right at the catch point. So really good play overall from the defense. Getting these stops on 3rd down. Getting into, being able to run, man-to-man cover 1 or man cover 2, whatever it was. And they were creating pressure pretty quickly up front. You can watch them, do their loops, their stunts from this angle. Good job setting this up again. Wilkins this time being the setup man, crashing down, takes out 2 linemen, and then Phillips able to loop around. And Phillips is really good as this loop roll. Look how explosive he is. Able to close, get the pressure, and force that ball out quickly. And Jones makes a really good play at the catch point. Dolphins were creating so much pressure early in the game. That's just how you beat the Vikings. They have very good receiving core. Justin Jefferson's one of the best receivers in the game. They're taking him away by doubling him, and then hoping that they could get to the quarterback quick enough before Thielen could get open, and they were Really good play here by Jalen Phillips. We'll watch this from the back end. Look at Needham one-on-one versus Thielen at the bottom. Really good job. And then you have Howard at the top, maintaining outside leverage in perfect positioning here. And Holland has his help to the inside, so they end up taking him away doubled. Once he breaks the inside, Holland in position to break on this. Nothing is open until, Thielen comes open late, but it's too late because they have pressure. Let's watch this from the other angle. Look at Jalen Phillips on this play. Just blow this up. Phillips was dominant in this game. He's looked really good the past few weeks, I think, since the Bengals game. Really taking over, getting some sacks. I think he gets a half sack on this one, but just look at the pressure. He ends up avoiding the chip from 84. You can see that explosiveness to the inside, and then they try to bring some guy back from the other side, and he just blows up the tight end. Basically takes out 2 tight end blockers on this play, making one guy miss with athleticism, explosiveness, and then beats the split zone guy by just running him over, destroying him, and then he gets, the half sack, maybe the full sack, him and Roberts on this play. But really good job off the play action, just taking that guy. Once he realizes this guy's not blocking him, he gets his eyes back, knowing someone's probably going to come from the other side. So good IQ there too, and just destroys him. So great play from Phillips. Good to see him coming alive. That whole draft class from Waddle, Phillips, Holland, one of the better first 3 picks the Dolphins have had in a very, very long time. Dolphins finally go into a zone, cover 3. This is just not where they're at their most successful. They don't get the pressure this time off of play action. Everyone's a little more hesitant to attack. And then the linebackers get sucked in on the play action, all 3 of them, and they just throw the dig over the middle of the field. Howard has no chance to make a play on this when he's a deep third corner. He needs the guys to gain leverage, maybe make the window tighter, make him hesitate for just a second so Howard has a chance to close, and you hit Jefferson in stride. You give him that much free of a release, working over the middle of the field. He's going to make you pay. This is why you can try to take a receiver away by running these zones, but it's just not the strength of the Dolphins defense. It never has been. It works in certain situations, but not when they're not getting pressure right away. So this is when they started giving up some big chunks towards the end of the second quarter. And this is where cover 1, cover 0 type things can hurt you. Running man-to-man and getting beat on these pick plays. Howard gets just taken out, thinking he has to work over the top. Really good play design by the Vikings. They go bunch here, and once they go bunch, they can just not be on the same level. They're all 3 of them too close to being on the same level. He's only like a yard behind him. And once Jefferson shoots inside, Howard thinks he's going to have to go over the top. This is 3rd and 6. They're all blitzing. He's going to have no help to the short inside here. So he goes over the top. They just run into each other. He breaks it back to the outside. Really good route from Jefferson. But yeah, these pick plays are what gave up some of the biggest plays in the game, because this, ends up, they get to score the touchdown right after this instead of, holding this to a field goal. If they stop this, the pressure's just there a little bit late because it's just a quick pass so quickly. They're able to win on the pick. So this is where Howard mostly got beat. It was just on the pick plays, and I don't blame him too much for that, but really, really sucks for the defense because they played pretty well overall, but just couldn't get it done when it mattered the most. I think the Dolphins should have brought pressure all day on Cousins. They finally go into their cover 0. I think they were scared to do this just based on the receivers that the Vikings have, but this is their bread and butter. Everyone even back there. Once you watch this is how they do it. Look at the center here. He slides to the left. His first step is to the left, so these guys drop. They don't rush, which then creates a 4-on-3 opportunity to the backside. He takes him, he takes him, he takes him. The center is now too late to get to the blitzing linebacker up the middle and just gives a free path for Landon Roberts. This is why this works so well, and certain quarterbacks just struggle more against the blitz, and I think Cousins is one of those quarterbacks who just doesn't feel at his most comfortable in this area, and it also gives the receivers less time to get open. The more time those receivers have, they're definitely going to create separation at some point, especially when the Dolphins are so shorthanded at DBs at the moment. Here we got Noah Igbinoghene. Dolphins are running cover 0. The Vikings get the look they want. They get a man-to-man, one-on-one matchup versus Noah. Now, this isn't his best rep because he gets pass interference, but he did actually play a pretty good overall game, which I know most Dolphins fans would be surprised. They give Kirk enough time, but Noah actually plays this pretty well. Initially, the initial part is good. He stays patient, good footwork, stays square, sees Thielen peek to the outside, and is able to change directions pretty nicely, match that from deep, stays over the top, and once he's in this positioning, he just gets too far, floats to the outside, and then gets hands-on, gets the pass interference. This is his biggest issue. It always has been, is just playing at the catch point. Because in zone, he has no zone awareness. He's pretty clueless to what's going on in zone. But in man, he's actually got the athleticism to mirror and match. He has some good initial instincts. He usually doesn't allow a lot of separation in man. He's usually in pretty good positioning, but he just never finishes at the end. He's always getting too grabby and struggles to locate the ball when it's in the air. Christian Wilkins, week after week, just making big plays for losses. You better block him up front. You can't let a guy, he's a 4-eye here, and he's supposed to get blocked by the play side guard. That's just not going to happen. Once he reads the tackle going to the outside, he just shoots upfield. Play side guard is too late out of his stance. He uses that offhand again, create that separation, stay clean. He stays square to the line of scrimmage. Once he sees it pitched to Jefferson, he gets upfield. Just an explosive player, too aware in those scenarios. They need to put, a body on him straight up, because he is going to make that play every single time. And then just another good play by Wilkins, basically a dominant play here. So the center, he's straight up. He's playing a zero technique right now. He sees the center go down, not to block him, and he's seeing the pulling guard come around, knows this guy is coming to down block him. He gets his eyes here. He's already prepared for it. He puts that left arm out to club, swim over. Great job using his own leverage and momentum against him. Toss him aside, stays square. He sees Cook is going to go to the outside based on his angle, his hips, gets over the top, scrapes it, and then makes a very clean tackle. Wilkins doing this week after week, play after play, making huge plays in the backfield. I think he's one of the best players on the team currently. Watching the film week after week, Wilkins is just so consistent, especially making these plays versus the run. He's super high IQ, very athletic, also has the physicality, technicality to beat offensive linemen play after play. So yeah, really, really good play from Christian Wilkins. Here we get a good play from Noah Igbinoghene, making a play on the ball. Great job by Iggy. I mean, this is a pretty good rep against Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen is a good NFL receiver. He's in man-to-man coverage. They're running cover one here. Watch this at the line of scrimmage. He does a good job. Stays pretty square. Footwork could be a little bit better. He shoots this right hand. Once he sees him start to work back to the outside, you want to flip that. Gets two hands on. Maybe he does get a little too handsy at times, but this is at least within the 5 yards, so it's not illegal contact as long as you're not holding. And then once he gets downfield, he undercuts, does a really good job filling this route, showing some nice route recognition to undercut, plays to the outside. He knows he has help to the inside, so he wants to get back on the low outside leverage. And then once he sees Thielen turn to find the ball, he turns and finds it. Just in better positioning here, goes up, makes a play at the catch point. They could possibly call, holding, maybe pass interference at some point in this, but they don't. So when he is not getting those penalties, he actually does a pretty good job in his process. I've always thought this about Noah, is when he's playing man-to-man coverage, he always had the skill. In college, he has a lot of very good man-to-man reps versus Devontae Smith, Jamar Chase, receivers like that. He was matching them play after play. Van Jefferson, he had good games against all those guys in college when he was playing man-to-man against them, but just would sometimes struggle to win at the catch point, get too handsy in man, and then have no clue what's going on in zone. But love to see a little bit of improvement out of him, obviously, in this game. And a lot of people gave up on him a long time ago. So hopefully, keep him around. If he can improve, Dolphins obviously need that, especially with Needham out for season. They need Kohu back. They need Byron Jones back, because the DB's secondary is such a huge part of the Dolphins' defense. 2 plays later, Iggy again, this time in motion, does a good job staying over the top, staying in phase. This is actually a really, really good rep. Recognizes that he's going vertically. A lot of times they like to do this off of motion. This receiver coming here is running basically a wheel, getting vertical. The only thing is he might hit the comeback. So Igbinoghene opens up those hips, knows he's probably not going to break to the inside, so he's cool with opening up the hips. And then once he recognizes he's vertical, he knows he has the speed to stay with Thielen in phase and does a really good job turning. Once he's in positioning, gets that right hand on the hip pocket, turning, locating the ball, knows he's in phase, can come back and makes a play at the catch point again. 2 pass defenses from Noah Igbinoghene in one game. It's honestly a miracle for some Dolphins fans. I like to see this, because I didn't like Noah Igbinoghene as a first-round pick, but I did like some of his man-to-man film in college. I think the Dolphins reached for him for sure, but there was definitely some promise when it came to man-to-man. Coming out of Auburn, he was just super raw, and he just hasn't seemed like he developed at all. But when he can actually make some plays at the catch point, I can see there some value there in man-to-man, because covering Adam Thielen 2 plays in a row, being pretty physical, showing some good route recognition, making play at the catch point. Pretty good stuff from Noah Iggy. We get Raekwon Davis getting some work too. You know, some of these draft picks that haven't quite worked out. I think Raekwon Davis showed a lot like his rookie year, but then he had that injury happen his second year, and it just hasn't been the same. But showing what he's capable of as a pass rusher, I know what he's capable of as a run defender, but obviously just look at the length here. You can see the power of the bull rush. If he can catch people off guard, perfect stab with those right hand, throws the guy off, uses it as a long arm, wins the leverage battle. Like, this is a behemoth of a man. Just throws him to the side and finishes. I mean, he should have had a sack last week, but he got the face mask on the play, which was a pointless face mask. But if this sort of progression continues, the Dolphins defense has a lot of promise because they have a lot of good players across the board. Also, Channing Tindall made some plays in this game too. I mean, he made a play coming down, making a tackle, which was nice to see him getting some more reps. Just wasn't super involved when playing, but he didn't make any mistakes either, so that was nice to see. The Dolphins defense could only play so good for so long. You know, they're in the third quarter. They've only given up 10 points, but 3 of those were really on the offense after an interception. And there was only just a couple big plays, but then another big pick play to Jefferson. Thielen stops him just enough, and it's not going to get called because Thielen did a really good job of getting out of the way. So just perfectly executed, and Howard beat on another pick play. It's unfortunate, but DB playing man-to-man versus one of the top receivers in the league, Jefferson, at least a top 5, top 3 type guy. It's very hard to guard a guy, especially when you're getting picked by a receiver. So don't blame X too much, especially coming off 2 groin injuries. I expect the defense to be pretty fine because overall they played really well in this game. Dolphins just don't get the pressure that they want on Cousins on this play. They go man-to-man across the board. Cousins is able to get to his 4th read here. Everything dead to this side, 1. He comes back to the mesh. Neither are there. And then he finds Thielen versus Howard. Howard had pretty good coverage here, but I mean, it's hard to guard for this long. 1 flat route, dead. He comes back to the mesh. Both of these routes are taken away. They do a good job of Van Ginkel sinking back to take away this. Jefferson locked up 2. Everything taken away. He is able to float back away from the pressure. Too much time is had here for them basically running coverage 0. When you're bringing pressure like that, you got to get downhill, get to the QB faster. This is more on the pressure not getting there, I think, fast enough than it is on Howard because he is the 4th read, and it's very difficult to guard for that long. 3rd and 1, this was a huge stop in the game because it was still 16-10. They try to go bunch again. They bring more pressure downhill, and then Justin Bethel, who made a big play in this game because he had to play since Needham was out, getting over the top. He's seeing that they're trying to pick this here. Really good job taking this angle to get over this, get down, close right at the catch point, make a really good play, cause the incompletion. So yeah, Dolphins were really good on 3rd down in this game when they were just trying to get the ball out quickly. They made a lot of good stops. Dolphins defense obviously very good at playing aggressive, getting downhill. When everything is kept in front of them, they're not getting picked. The defense just makes big play after big play. Last play of this film breakdown, the big Dalvin Cook run after the Jalen Waddle fumble. This was unfortunate. Dolphins had a big chance to win this game, and they finally just get beat by the big run. Everything here, they just block it up well. Not able to get to the backside of this. Everyone gets blocked up. Sealer gets double teamed. Linebackers get cut off right here. He overflows Roberts. Cook gets the cutback lane. 67's able to cut off Davis. And then Holland uncharacteristically overflows, allows Cook to get the cutback, and then he's gone. So overall, just a few big plays given up by the defense, but they realistically didn't give up that many points. Dolphins offense had the ball way more, had plenty of chances to score, but really shot themselves in the foot in a lot of situations with penalties, sacks. Vikings overall played well in this game too. Was definitely close, but Dolphins really didn't do themselves any favors offensively to give themselves a chance to win this. Defense with the players they were down, I thought played pretty well. So overall, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.